And thanks for staying with us. First up, Speaker of Parliament Alban Bagman has admitted a motion of censure filed by a minority MP seeking to remove embattled Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta. The minority say Ken Ofori-Atta is incompetent and is to blame for the current economic woes of Ghanaians. My colleague Kwawu Asante has been speaking to the minority leader. He joins us from Parliament. What more did he tell you, and when does the minority hope to conclude this?
Into minority leader Harvard issue, their side intends to conclude everything by the 10th of November. Around that period, they intend to have been able to convince some members of the majority to join them to vote against Ken Ofori-Atta's continuously in office as finance minister. And so they hope to be able to do so by 10th November within a constitutional imperative of 14 days. But Daryl, I should add that a number of procedural matters are being discussed currently on the floor because according to the majority side, the NDP side, the deputy majority leader Alexander Antonio Martin, there are some procedural defects with the other paper as listed in terms of the issue against the finance minister, who would have wished that more information would have been supplied. The minority disagreed. The Speaker of Parliament has just ruled that the order that has been made and the admission of the motion was proper. And so they're still making some arguments to try and convince the Speaker that the Speaker of Parliament should at least write to the Finance Minister telling him that this motion of censure has been filed against him, the grounds, so that he can fully prepare. Because according to parliamentary rules and according to the Constitution, the Finance Minister would have to be heard in his defense in terms of the issues that have been raised against him. But generally speaking, the minority have not been taking kindly to that specific concerns, and they've been overruling that. But generally, by the 10th of November, 14 days would have elapsed, and it's expected that the process would have concluded, which would have meant either the Finance Minister would have been voted against the censure or the censure motion would have been defeated.
All right, so the latest being that the Speaker has overruled the majority's objection of the listing of the motion. I've been monitoring your reporting as well. The Speaker saying the censure motion has led to the city gaining some value. That's an interesting remark from the Speaker.
And very interesting. The Speaker was making remarks just when he finished the ruling, in overruling the concern the majority had expressed. He said that he thought that the minority motion of censure that he had filed had led to the stabilization of the city. That was surprising. He didn't provide any evidence to back that. He didn't provide any numbers to back that. But he said that in his view, he thought that it was because the motion of censure had been filed that has triggered some confidence in the economy, confidence that certain state institutions can work, be able to put people like the Finance Minister on their toe. And it's for that reason why the city has been stabilizing or getting some significant gains against the US dollar.
All right, and the minority also criticizing the majority for accepting a request from the president to have the finance minister stay on until the 2023 budget presentation as well as the IMF deal conclusion.
Right, they say that they don't know if it's cowardice or these people are just not bold. Because if you make your claims clear that you want Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta to be removed, and the president calls you and says, let the president finish the budget or the IMF deal, and you allow him to stay in power, then that is not proper. The minority, the Harvard News, who have been speaking to, said that he does not know, he does not believe that even if the Finance Minister is granted more time, it would change anything. And so he would have wished that the majority side would have pressed home this demand to have the Finance Minister removed. And so it's coming to them as a surprise that they are acceding to the request of the president to have the finance minister stay in office until at least the 2023 budget is presented and passed, and also the conclusion of the IMF deal.
Well, we are made to believe that all the majority MPs agreed to the president's request that the finance minister stays on until the IMF deal is concluded. Is it the same sentiment you're picking from majority MPs that they all agree to this request from the president?
Indeed, what our sources tell us that some majority MPs were not very happy with the idea that the finance minister should be given more time. If he had to be with them alone, they would have wished that the finance minister would have been removed immediately. But they've been looking at the general consensus, looking at the plea that came from the president, for which reason they've been agreeing to that. But I can't tell you that yesterday in the meeting of majority MPs, there was significant concerns from some MPs who were not happy that the president's request to have the finance minister stay on some time is being agreed to by the minority or the majority caucus. If it was left to them alone, Ken Ofori-Atta were gone the very day they made that press conference. They are excited that he is coming to stay on up until maybe the end of the year.
All right, Kwawu, to keep watching developments in Parliament for us. Appreciate it. We'll come to you if there are any new developments. Well, speak about the economic challenges. Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has said dealing with Ghana's fiscal and debt sustainability issues will be a daunting task. According to him, government would have to embark on various strategies to find solutions to the current economic challenges facing the country. Now, speaking at the Standard Chartered Bank's Digital Banking Innovation and FinTech Festival, he said there is the need for a change in production to reduce import dependency. Here's more.
Dr. Bawumia at the Standard Chartered Digital Banking Innovation and FinTech Festival said the impact of various digitalization initiatives, including the efficient public service delivery at all ministries, departments and agencies, is creating opportunities for Ghanaians. Speaking on the economy, he stressed on the need to change Ghana's pattern of production.
Revolution. In Ghana specifically, we're dealing with an economic crisis that we have to address in different dimensions. The first and most important, which affects the confidence that we have in the economic system, is to make sure that we have fiscal and debt sustainability. This has been one of the areas where we are having discussions with and negotiations with the International Monetary Fund about. Restoring fiscal and debt sustainability, no doubt, is not going to be easy. It will require very bold, difficult, but firm decisions. And I think these are part of the discussions that we are having with the IMF, and I'm sure once those are concluded, it will be clear that it will not be and it should not be business as usual, because we have to adjust to the new global and domestic realities. What we are also seeing is that the nature of production needs to change.
Deputy Governor at the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Maxwell Opoku-Afari, reassured players in the digital financial service ecosystem that the central bank remains resolute in their commitment to the cash-light agenda.
To build stronger collaboration and cooperation with industry, the Bank of Ghana has embarked on an engagement drive through the FinTech and Innovation Office. In fact, the bank has already started collaborating with FinTech accelerators, technology hubs, and has facilitated various sessions on licensing requirements, corporate governance, and compliance for reporting institutions. This further demonstrates the bank's openness and engaging attitude towards the industry players. The bank encourages continual dialogue and is ready to engage all stakeholders to achieve our shared goals to promote innovation and a safe payments ecosystem. While much has been collectively achieved, there is a lot that needs to be done in building our future economy. Let me use this opportunity to reassure players in the digital financial service ecosystem.
Chief Executive Officer for Standard Chartered Bank Ghana, Mansa Nete, said the festival goes to the core of the company's strategy of meeting the changing needs of consumers across our markets. The 2022 FinTech Festival will feature a series of plenary sessions that will explore the opportunities for co-creation by industry players to embrace digitization and the extent to which platforms and payments are currently creating value and helping industry players to be agile amidst the disruption.
Now, the Institute of Statistical, Social and Economic Research, ISSER, of the University of Ghana, has partly blamed the current economic woes on overspending on capital expenditure without adequate domestic funding. The findings were captured in the 2021-2022 Economic Outlook by ISSER. In an address to launch the report and a review of the economic performance for the third quarter of this year, Director of ISSER, Professor Peter Korte, said the situation must change.
The Economic Performance Report by the Institute of Statistical, Social and Economic Research, ISSER, identifies some loopholes in the country's economy which must be dealt with. According to Director for ISSER, Professor Peter Korte, the research reveals that government overspent its budget prior to the last election. He believes there will be a significant change if governments avoid overspending on capital projects during election periods.
In 2020-2021, we spent so much on capital expenditure. Why? Ask yourself, why did we do that? And I think elections also had a role to play. Some of the sort we had to cut, some of the infrastructure projects have to be funded. And that is one of the reasons why we are where we are. During elections, we spend, then we use the next 3 years to clean up, then we go again to elections, then we spend, then we come and clean up. So check the data. Post-election spending, every year after election, year or two after election, we go through some of this turbulence, and we ought to point that out. Break that political business cycle.
Meanwhile, the institute has also advised President Akufo-Addo to reduce the size of government to boost confidence in the economy. Professor Peter Korte believes that no investor will have faith in the government in its current form if the number of ministers and officials are not reduced.
Just about putting a number. It's about looking at the various ministries, looking at what they can do and trying to merge some so that you create harmony. If you just put a number and try to work with a number, it might not work. But look at their functions and see what you can merge and what you cannot merge, and also ensure that there is harmony, there is no duplication, and I believe that should help.
You mentioned the need. Meanwhile, the institute has reiterated calls for a review of the electronic levy.
Now, President Akufo-Addo has said government will not accept the activities of black market operators in determining forex prices, which is partly responsible for the depreciation of the cedi against major trading currencies. At a meeting with operators of forex bureaus at the Jubilee House, the president said the Bank of Ghana will continue to clamp down on such illegal activities.
The state of our currency and the turbulence in our foreign exchange market is a matter of notoriety now in Ghana. And it's a matter of very grave concern. I know you've been having a lot of discussions with the governor, your regulator of the bank, and I think I'll ask him also to come and give us a flavor of what indeed that he has been telling you and what he conceives are to be the problems. But one thing that I think is very important for us to address, the initial impulse, my understanding, the initial impulse for the creation of the Forex bureaus was at the time when our economy was opening up and liberalizing and trying to find a mechanism for putting an end to black market operations on our currency. That was the initial impulse. So we would have these Forex bureaus regulated by the Bank of Ghana, but which would make access to foreign exchange in a regulated and controlled manner easier. Unfortunately, somehow, this initial motivation for the creation of the Forex bureaus has still not materialized. The black market, and you hear public commentators, it is commentators of the Bank of Ghana itself and others say, this is still the black market that is basically driving both the supply as well as the rate of our foreign exchange transactions. That is, for me, completely unacceptable. And we have to find a way to work together to drive the black market out of business so that the formal sector, in terms of the banks, in terms of the Forex bureaus, can be the proper avenue for dealing with foreign exchange transactions in our country. But in a situation where a country's critical commodity, like its currency, is in the hands of black market operators, that's a very dangerous situation for any country.
Well, President of the Forex Bureau Association of Ghana, Katie Dazi, said the association will partner government to address the challenges with the cedi.
Yeah. A regulated body, and don't have much control apart from what our regulators tell us to do. For the past 3 months, it has not been easy for us, our customers, and the whole nation. And I'm talking about foreign exchange business. We've been in this business since 1988. We've had turbulences, but this is a bit tough for all of us. But we've gone through all that happened. Sometimes it's a bit difficult, but we tried and we survived. And I know this too shall pass. Like I was telling the governor in Go yesterday, with the announcement that we were even meeting yesterday, the rate started coming down. It means it's not natural. It's all this is all being done by people speculating and trying to make windfall out of the situation that we are in. I hope this meeting too will help. And I can tell you from what happened yesterday to today that it's already stabilizing.
All right, you're watching The Marketplace. Now, the handling of your financial affairs can become costly and a frustrating ordeal for your family and heirs. It is likely your assets may not be passed to the desired party, and there's no way for your assets to get to the charities or causes you want them to get to unless some advanced arrangements are made. And that's why estate and gift planning is important. And this month has been set aside to create awareness. And joining me in studio is Peter Kojo-Asarinyako, who is Executive Director of the Center for Financial Literacy Education Africa. Grateful you could join us in the studio to discuss this. I know this month of October, there's a lot of talk about breast cancer, cybersecurity, but it's also Estate and Gift Planning Awareness Month. And so tell us a bit more about what this is and what should Ghanaians know?
Thank you very much. I'm glad to be here. And let me wish our viewers happy Estate and Gift Planning Awareness Month. Estate and gift planning is part of the overall financial planning process. You know, as you build wealth, you need to know how you can manage that wealth and how you can transition that wealth. Even the good books, the Bible says that a good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children. So if you work hard for money and you're able to build wealth, you should put proper structures in place so that you can give out those wealth to your family and friends, and even to charity. That is why we have dedicated the month of October talking about estate and gift planning, helping people to understand what it is, how they can plan their estate and giftings.
Oh, so what should we know, about estate and gift planning?
Okay, so estate planning is you sharing your assets to those you want them to have. So let's say if you build wealth, you have to share those wealth to the people you want them to have those wealth. And so estate planning is about putting the legal document in place, making sure those you want to distribute your wealth to are able to access those wealth and they're able to get those wealth. So estate planning, we are talking about you putting your wealth together.
All right. And you talk about legal documents. What are the relevant legal documents that anybody needs to have? Okay,
sure. So you need a will. Will is one of the key legal documents each and everyone needs to put in place. Mostly when we talk about will, people think you have to be wealthy before you can draft a will. And the moment you mention will, people think you want them to die. If you tell someone to draft a will, they think you want them to die. But the law advises an individual, the moment you hit 18 years of age.
18 years?
18 years. You should be able to put your will together.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yes. And we all have assets. Even your mobile phone is an asset. And so you should draft a will to cover your mobile phone. So we are saying that all the assets that you have acquired, one, you should get a will for it. And two, another legal document we can talk about is the power of attorney. So if you acquire wealth and let's say something happens, you become sick or incapacitated, you should be able to appoint someone to manage those assets for you. This is where you raise a power of attorney, to appoint a trustee or to appoint someone who will guide your children. In case you die today, who will take care of your property, who will take care of your wealth? So once you raise a power of attorney, it gives you the opportunity to appoint a trustee, someone who will take care of your children and your properties. And we can also talk about healthcare directive. It will interest you to know that someone has made provision for how his corpse or his bodily remains should be managed. So someone can say, if I die today, my body should go to Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology for research. So you should be able to plan in such a way that all your assets goes to the right place where you want your asset to go, so that you don't leave chaos behind.
Well, the thing is that when you die, there's no way you can sort of help the situation when people are fighting over your property. Tell our audience why, I mean, some of the stories that you've heard when individuals do not, sort of plan or put together their will and what the resultant effect has been.
Yes, so I'll not go far. There is a case regarding one of our ex-footballers. There was a case where he was not able to put a will together or a structure together. And when he divorced the wife, there was court issues on those cases. And then we can talk of footballers who acquired so much wealth, but because they did not plan their estate or because they did not have a will, it became an issue. So we are saying that you should be able to plan, you should be able to structure your properties, you should be able to put them in place so that if something happens, we all know death is certain, we will all die, but life is not certain. We don't know what will happen tomorrow.
And I also want to touch on charitable giving and how it's supposed to be done.
Sure. So talking about charitable giving, we are saying that we should give back to society. We should give back to the schools we went. So if you went to Legon, you should be able to provide some giftings to Legon. You should be able to give back to Legon. You should invest some money into structures that Legon want to put out. Your schools, your churches, your community. You should be able to create a foundation. You should be able to create a charity in such a way that you can give back part of your wealth to those causes. Most of the times, people die and they have acquired so much, and then it becomes family dispute. So we are saying that you should donate some of these causes, some of these monies to causes in society, so that we can help build them.
Is it an expensive thing to do?
Putting a will together, you need to see a lawyer or an attorney. And as I'm sitting here, I'm not a legal person, but I can tell you as a financial planner, it's not that expensive. It will rather be expensive not putting a will together. And so putting a will together shouldn't be something that is expensive.
So there's a whole movement that is trying to create awareness about estate and gift planning. Tell me about what you've been doing this month and what you are intending to do over the coming months to sort of create more awareness about this and get people to do the right thing.
Sure. So we have the Improving Financial Awareness and Financial Literacy movement. This is a movement that significantly seeks to improve financial awareness and financial literacy. So one, we are creating public awareness. Two, we are educating the general public. Three, we are doing community outreaches. So we are going to the marketplace to engage market women. In April, we went to Medina Market to engage the market women in Medina. And in October, this month, we went to Takoradi Market Circle. So the movement is built around two campaign venues, April and October. The whole of April is Financial Literacy Month.
Okay.
6 months later, October is Estate and Gift Planning Awareness Month. We create awareness, we do media campaigns, we do social media campaigns, we do conferences, we do outreaches.
All right. And this is good education, and especially the fact that you don't have to have so much money to put together a will. That's the marketplace, everyone. Thanks for watching. My guest has been Peter Kojo Asarinyako, Executive Director of the Center for Financial Literacy Education Africa. There's more news on our website, myjoyonline.com/business. We will be back same time tomorrow.